Hello, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Rollo. I'm a producer and mixing engineer from Australia, and right now I am stupidly trying to document my life. The current iteration is sort of daily vlogs that may or may not drop back down to weekly. We'll see how quickly I burn out, but it's Thursday today, so that's exciting for no apparent reason. I'm doing some admin work and then doing some music stuff later. Like how this room is like a continual mess. No matter what I do, just always a mess. I am bouncing out a mix one now for someone, which is good. I have been this was the one I was talking about yesterday. If you watched yesterday's video, where I was kind of struggling a bit with some of the distortion that I'd recorded. I think I've kind of dealt with it. I've mainly done that by really automating big reverb swells around it, so kind of the note hits and then there's all this thing, so it at least sounds perhaps deliberate. Sometimes that's what you have to do, at least in my experience, is if there's a flaw, you have to just commit to it and lean into it and really not try to hide it, because sometimes when you try to hide it, that's when it just sounds bad. So there is a poll on my community tab right now, which is two things, because I am just so indecisive. Two questions. Well, no, not two questions. One question, two options. My goodness. The first is one video a week that's like all of the days compiled, like I was doing for a few weeks, and it's edited and it's kind of cool, I guess. Well, I mean, I like to think it's cool. It has a bit more kind of cinematic feel to it, I guess, than these do. And then also, so one video here, and then also one tutorial video over on the producer place. So that's option A. Option B is continuing this sort of sprint of 4 to 5 videos a week, Monday through Friday, of kind of just less edited and more just talky or real, less edited basically. So if you have a thought about that, go over to the community tab and vote, because it's super helpful to get feedback. Cool, this has done rendering, so now I'm gonna send it. We love sending stuff. Doesn't cripple me with anxiety. No, sorry. It does sometimes. That's alright. Something, I definitely feel mildly self-conscious talking to a camera. I don't know why. I just feel like I just imagine people listening to me being like, what is this guy doing? But hey, we ballin', we gaming. It's part of the journey. So I'm assuming I probably titled the video something along the lines of don't do this to your vocals, or don't duplicate vocals, something like that. I was just working on a mix earlier today, and so somebody recorded vocals themselves, sent them to me to mix the vocals with a beat, and they had sent quite a lot of vocals, which is fine. I checked, right? I went through all the vocals and I was like, okay, let's like make sure these are all like solid vocals. I didn't pick up on anything. I started pitch correcting all these vocals, and then kind of, after I'd pitch corrected like 15 of these, I listened to them all, and then I heard it. Duplication. Doesn't sound like too much of a problem, but basically, if you record a single vocal and then you duplicate that vocal, so you copy it and paste it so it's exactly the same, and then you have them on top of each other. So you've got, say you wanted a double or a left and a right, and you duplicated the vocal and then panned it. Like, it seems in principle like that would be okay. The issue is it just causes everything to kind of like implode on itself. I guess what it's causing in some ways is like phase problems. I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is like technically called. To me, it sounds like a phase problem, but it kind of, I don't know, something about having these waveforms that are perfectly copying each other. It just doesn't sound great. You get this kind of like weird watery sound almost. Like it doesn't sound good. It kind of undermines the solidness of a recording, like a vocal recording. So if you are sending vocals to somebody, please don't duplicate them. If you are going to duplicate them, you should process them like insanely differently. Like you could probably duplicate, distort, put chorus on it, double it, like put a doubler on it. You could probably like go crazy with it, and then that would be fine or better. Or you could put like a vocoder on it or something. But if you just duplicate it purely to be a double, like it doesn't sound great. If you have the option, always re-record it or record a new one. Having differences is good. The exact same just feels weird. It's just a bad vibe, really. So yeah, don't do that. Just take the time. My process, what I would recommend and what I do, we spend a lot of time on the lead vocal. So we'll do tons of takes, get 5 variations. So I have options to kind of comp through, and then do that through the whole song. Then when we get to doubles and harmonies to some extent, but more so with doubles, just do 2 passes. Like, it doesn't have to sound as amazing as the lead. The double is not at the forefront really, even though it kind of sounds and implies like it might be. It's not usually. We have it further back. I'll pitch correct and time align those a lot harder. Like, I'm way less shy than with like a lead vocal, where I want to make sure it's as natural sounding as possible. The double, I could care less to some extent, as long as it sounds cool. Same thing applies with backings. I'd probably do more than 2 depending on the singer. Like, if they nail it, wonderful. If they're kind of struggling, like, I'll try to get it as good as possible. But again, even with harmonies, like, I'm definitely way more lax and relaxed to just like tune it really hard, because again, I'm putting like tons of verb on it. It's generally not in your face. It's a little bit further back, and you're not really paying attention to how like natural that sounds. There are obviously some cases where you definitely want the backings to sound natural, so it's a case by case thing. I'm just saying, generally speaking, especially in the kind of music that I'm mixing and producing, it's mostly fine to just like crank it if you need it. I almost feel kind of guilty. I feel like today has just not been a good filming day. My camera died, and then I was just mixing, and I was kind of really in the headspace. Like, I just wasn't really thinking about other stuff. So kind of, I blinked and it was suddenly 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or whatever, and then I realized that, I'm trying to do like daily filming, and now I need to try and make like a 20-minute video. So I just get to blab in front of a camera for a little bit. Welcome to the blabbing. It's definitely feeling a bit warm in here. Also kind of stinks, and I'm not entirely sure why. I don't think it's me. The bins are like out the front, in front of the window, so sometimes if our bin or the neighbour's bin is stinky, sometimes you get a whiff, which is super unideal, but that is reality sometimes. Although most of the time it's fine. It has to be like super stinky. Strange topic to share. I need to clean up this place again. I've got my friend's electronic drum kit over there, which you probably saw before, just like that thing, which I'm going to be returning to his place. It doesn't really take up that much space, but like vibe space takes up heaps. I also have this like nest of just cables under my desk, but I don't really know what to do about that because I'm kind of moving stuff around so frequently that I don't want to like tie it all up, but then that just results when you're sitting on the couch here looking over, it's just like cables and cables and cables. Oh my god, so many cables. If I had like any kind of phobia of cables, this would be triggering. I did have a question which I don't think I've ever really talked about, but the question was, how do I come up with my titles for my lo-fi music, and how do I come up with my cover art for that lo-fi music? The titles, well, it's getting kind of difficult because I've released like 36 songs over the past few years, so I'm kind of running out of titles. All of the basic titles, they're done. I've gone through them all now, so we're on to like more absurd and obscure things. So yeah, I don't really know how I decide them. I just pick a vibe. Maybe the song makes me feel kind of goofy. That's a goofy name. It's like my cat ate my homework, which feels really cringe to say out loud, but it's funnier in the moment, I swear. Or I don't know what some of my bangers have been. The Vampire That Only Eats Cheese, The Kid with the Shrek Sandals, based on a true story. I had Shrek sandals when I was a kid and I got bullied for it. It's pretty cool. Like, this is like young kid, keep in mind. So yeah, I'm grappling for anything to give me an idea. Sometimes I ask, TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, I guess. Like, I'll ask for ideas for what I should call a song, and then whatever's cool I'll take. Yeah, it's a mission sometimes. The cover art side of stuff, I use a AI program called Midjourney, which is housed inside of Discord, and basically I'll take the title and I'll either input that straight into Midjourney, or I'll, if it's like The Vampire Who Only Eats Cheese, then I'll say like cheese platter in a vampire village with some wine, lo-fi aesthetic, and then it'll spit out a couple of options and I'll pick the best one. So it's been a functional system that's worked really well recently. Actually, always. Like, I used to use Night Cafe, which was free. Midjourney you have to pay for. Night Cafe was good, but I just needed something a little bit more interesting, I guess. So I moved over to Midjourney, and that's been really good. So if you need cover art, Midjourney's sick. God, AI's coming for my job next. Just become a full-time vlogger. don't know if you just saw that, but what I did, I should really screen record this. I ran an arpeggio, like I just wrote out an arpeggio, and I highlighted everything, right clicked and go, and I just clicked randomize notes. So it's like all the notes that I chose, but then just random order. Kind of makes cool stuff. On a quick aside, my face is back in this tightly cropped frame. I caught wind that Spotify is down the line going to be penalizing instrumental songs that are less than 2 minutes, so I'm starting to make longer music. Screw Spotify. Alright, I'm just gonna record this. Do stuff. What can I play with? I don't want to play with too much. Maybe decay and sustain? We'll do this with a pick. Get a different tone. So to hold my breath. Well, thank you for sharing another day with me. Appreciate it a lot. If you're in need of a mixing engineer or potentially a producer, you can check out some of my work linked below. You can fill out the contact form to get in touch. I'm going to play what I just made in a nice fade out, so vibe out with me. If you did enjoy this, hit like, hit subscribe, and comment below so that the algorithm knows to share it to more people. And I'll catch you next video, which is probably tomorrow. See ya.